Howdy Rail fans, it is Wednesday evening, July 2nd, and this is about a full 2 days after the Wisconsin Southern had a very, very bad Monday. The L599 job, which is the job that goes just about daily from Horicon to Ackerville, had an accident and it was bad. Like, I can't even believe how bad it was. And so I figured, well, today I'll go and investigate it a little bit. Hopefully some of the emergency is gone and some of the onlookers have dissipated. So what happened? So it's my understanding that as the L599 was entering Hartford, it goes around a right-handed turn, and just past that right-handed turn is a switch to a spur track that goes to quad graphics. And well, that's not a big deal, except for there was also apparently either a tree or a tree branch down on the tracks. So the crew comes around the corner, sees a tree on the tracks, and by that time you can hit the brakes all you want. There's not much you're going to be able to do. And so it's my understanding that the train basically pushed the tree into the switch stand, or the switch itself, ripped up the switch, and of course as the front locomotive is going over the switch, it is now switched, and part of the train decides to go one way and part of the train goes another way. And wow. What's particularly troubling was that there was a trainee on board, and can you imagine one of your first days on the job and you get to experience a derailment that could have taken your life? I guess the good news, if you want to call it good news, is that the crew was able to walk away. By the time the emergency crews got there, I think they'd already walked to the road nearby. When you see the photos and the videos, you got to wonder, like, that cab ride must have been horrible. I don't think the inside of a GP, well, I don't know if it was a 38-2, they're not exactly padded. I don't think they have airbags. So that must have been a pretty scary experience. So what I'm going to do is, there's still a lot of people walking around. There's still a lot of equipment, and I'm not a great drone flyer still. So don't expect any perfection here. I'm going to see if I can get some shots of the damaged locomotives, and it looks like the track is just about, the main line is back. They've got it pretty much repaired after 2 days. I'd expect to see trains probably either rolling through tonight or tomorrow for sure. The locomotives are up on a spur track, the spur track that goes to quad. And right now they're, I guess, landlocked, if you want to call it, because there is no switch anymore. And so what I think is going to happen there is that, my guess is that railroads pretty much have to order a new turnout to some kind of specification, and then it gets manufactured somewhere and then shipped by rail to the location, at which point they'll probably cut the main, weld in that new switch, and then they'll finally be able to go back to quad and then figure out what to do with these 3 locomotives that are just sitting there. On the CN Waukesha sub, I've seen either special cars or gondolas with turnouts laying in them kind of on an angle, so I know for sure that railroads do just purchase switches that they put into the tracks. So what I'm wondering is, now what? So even if those 3 locomotives could be connected to the main line, do they drag them to Horicon all banged up? Is that even legal? Like, would the FRA even allow that? Sometimes with the damaged freight cars, I've seen the freight cars just get cut up on site if they're really bad, just get turned into scrap metal. Oftentimes they get put on other flat cars, or like a flat car, and so you have a car on a car. So we shall see. There might be future videos if I learn what's going to happen or how these trains are going to be moved when they get moved. For those of you who know the Wisconsin Southern, their main headquarters, where their machine shops are, is in Janesville, and so they could pull these locomotives over to Horicon, but I don't know if that would do much good. And so perhaps there'll be a T4 job, which is the job that goes from Horicon to Slinger, from Slinger on the CN to Waukesha, and then from Waukesha to Janesville. maybe we'll see like some kind of funeral train or something. I kind of hope so. This is just rumors. This is not even a rumor. This is just me speculating what could happen. But anyway, I guess enjoy this video. I hope I don't ever have to make another video like this again. Boy, this is probably really scary for the crew and not good for Wisconsin Southern. However, once again, I am thankful that the crew, as far as I understand, is okay. And so now they just have to deal with a bunch of banged up equipment. So anyway, this is Rugby Junction, signing off. Here's something you don't see every day. A semi-truck trailer loaded with some Jeep trucks, spares. It's kind of like a giant model railroad. Just pull out your extra trucks, throw them on a train. I don't know what they're going to do with these. Maybe they were hoping to throw them under some of the wrecked units. 6215, I'm not sure. But that is interesting. I'm just west of the derailment on Goodland Road at milepost 125.04. From the west, the L599 has a pretty straight shot into Hartford, but as I turn the camera, you'll see that the tracks start curving to the right just before the quad graphics switch. If there was a tree down over the tracks near the quad spur, the crew would have little time to react once they saw it.